holding down a city by yourself for over 20 years? NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we're coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, Talk Shop. There's so many great comic books coming in. If you know someone who's an indie creator, hit me up, let me know. I'm trying to get through all of them because there's so much good stuff to read out there. And today we're talking about, of course, Fears. And Fears is an interesting book that I'm not going to give everything away, but there's two things that I really want to get into. First being the Crimson Stalker. We learn about this character who has been fighting the good fight for over 20 years. They speak about Electric City and how there was a very dark time. There was only one person who stood up. And at that time, when he stood up, other people took up the charge and, followed his footsteps and fought alongside him, fought behind him, helped kind of push back the darkness, if you will, when it comes to like crime and, whatever could be going on at that time. And there seemed to be a pretty decent era that the city went through where it was safer. And when we come up on Crimson Stalker, he's an older man, and we can see through his conversation with whoever's on the other line, someone who's very worn, very tired, not tired of doing what he has to do to keep people safe, but just worn down, 20 plus years of fighting bad guys, keeping people protected, watching people's backs. It's a lot. And when we see him and we meet him, I like that the comic book takes its time in showing us who this man behind the mask is, even though we never see his face. I think it's a very good job characterizing his emotions, his period in his life where he's at, where he wants to put it all down, but he knows there's really no one else there to take up the mantle. And you see him struggle with this throughout the book. And while he's struggling, we do see kind of a parallel story with a young man by the name of Aaron. But on his journey, all you see is someone who's kind of there because he has to be there. He wants to keep the city safe, but he may not even know how much he has left in the tank. And I think it's a good job in the writing, just in the dialogue between him and whoever's, like the man in the truck or the man at the computer, whoever's on the other line, or the lady or whatever that's kind of helping him out on the other side, like his Alfred, I guess. The conversation lets us know without being crazy exposition-y, but it lets us get a little insight into who he is, how long he's been doing it, how experienced he is, and how he kind of feels like maybe he's on his own and maybe he's ready to hang it up. And I have to give this book a great kudos to that, because we got our action, we got our little detective moments, but we found out who this person is, and kind of where they stand at this point in their life. I think it's a good job because when it comes to the action, we know how worn this person is. So that action sequence with him and the person that he comes up on really informs how he moves, why he moves, and the time that it takes him to accomplish what he's there to accomplish. And I think that's really dope, man. That's one thing about this book that really stood out to me and really took hold. Now, I've got one more thing to get into is, kind of like, you get the kind of promise of tomorrow, but you get a lot of darkness and these weird undertones as well that I want to get into in just a moment. But of course, first, KURO is going to help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, check that link below. Hat, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you find something you like, of course, cop it. So let's get into this kind of providence, this promise of kind of like a revitalization, a rejuvenation, a revival, if you will, in this young man named Aaron. We are in the fantasy art comics world, so Swag Patrol and this book are in the same world. We get that tie-in with a little nod to Dr. Trey, and Dr. Trey is the doctor that's teaching the other youngsters in Swag Patrol. So we get that tie-in, which I think is cool. It's kind of like a toss-away line if you don't read it, but it's a nice little, kind of thing that's there. And we meet Aaron, who is, of course, a meta, but he hasn't told his mother. Nobody knows, really. And he's just kind of figuring out his powers on his own and isn't really, like the Captain America type. But he definitely wants to be great. Just in this case right now, he wants to be a great basketball player. So, he's a freshman on the team, but he's playing varsity. And things seem to kind of be going well, picking up for him. He wants to play on the team. He's getting a starting role, and he's getting that opportunity. And when you're a freshman in high school, things are coming new to you, and you just want to shine. You want to kind of start forging your own path. And for him, I think it's working out pretty well, even though by the looks of his friends or the kind of viewpoint of his friends, it kind of seems like maybe they're starting to hit a crossroads. But I like the fact that his character shows that he's like, look, just because I'm cool now or I'm getting, some notoriety or whatever, doesn't mean that, like you guys are not, you guys aren't allowed to hang with me. And it kind of informs on his character, even at a young age, the kind of person he is. Like if he's down for you, he's down for you. And the reason I want to touch on that is because later on in the issue, you see where it might be a situation where it's Providence, where his friends are in danger and he steps up to protect them. But when he steps up to protect them, he of course makes a pretty big showing with his powers, or his maybe not newfound powers for him, but definitely new to everyone else. And I think this book ends on a kind of Providence, because you see someone at the end of their journey or close to the end of their journey with Crimson Stalker, and you see someone that's maybe at the first steps, of their journey, if this is something they choose to do. And bringing them together, I think, was kind of nice the way they dovetailed this. I think it was really cool. And to see, of course, a nice little peek after what this might mean for that city, Electric City as a whole. What this might mean for anyone who wants to help Crimson Stalker or hurt Crimson Stalker. So I think Aaron is in a really good place as far as his characterization is involved. And Crimson Stalker, even though he's feeling a little tired, maybe this might be the rejuvenation he needs. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in these comments, let me know, have you read Fierce yet? Have you checked it out? If you haven't, the link is down below. Holla at me, let me know what you think about Fierce. I wanna talk about Providence, talk about the end of the road, the beginning of the road. What's the difference? What are the similarities? Stuff like that. Because I think this book does a good job of speaking to both of those and how they meet in certain places and how they can help each other, hopefully. And we'll see in the next issue. But guys, before I bounce, I'm going to tell you to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. And hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. Don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that NERDSoul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, if you ever have superpowers, you got to at least let like one person know. I mean, you can't just catch everybody off guard. I mean, what are you, tripping? Peace.